Amara had always known that marrying into the Khan family wouldn't be easy. They were wealthy, old money, and obsessed with appearances. She was none of those things. She came from a modest middle-class background, raised by a hard-working single mother and an older brother who practically became her second parent. But she loved Adil, deeply, sincerely, and she believed love would be enough to bridge the gap between their worlds. She was wrong. From the moment she stepped into the Khan mansion for the wedding preparations, she felt the eyes on her. Judging. Scanning. Assessing. Adil held her hand tightly, whispering that everything would be okay, but even he couldn't hide the anxiety in his eyes. His mother, Shabana, eyed Amara from head to toe as if she were a stain on her favorite carpet. So simple, she muttered to her sister, loud enough for Amara to hear. At least she should have dressed properly for the Mendi. Hasn't anyone taught her how these events work? Amara swallowed her embarrassment, straightened her yellow dupatta, and forced a smile. She had chosen the outfit lovingly, a traditional dress her mother helped her sew. It wasn't designer. It didn't have jewels or intricate embroidery. But it was made with love, and she hoped that would be enough. It wasn't. Throughout the ceremony, whispers followed her every step. Adil's cousins giggled when she danced. His aunts clicked their tongues when she served sweets to the elders. One of his sisters even pulled her aside. "If you're marrying into our family," she said coldly, "you'll have to learn how to present yourself. We have a reputation." That night, Amara cried quietly in her room. She didn't want to burden her mother, who was ecstatic about the wedding. And she didn't dare tell her brother, Zion. He lived abroad, in Singapore, running his own tech company worth more than most people could imagine. He was brilliant, private, and fiercely protective of her. If he knew she was being mistreated, he might actually stop the wedding. And she loved Adil too much to risk that. The next day was the Bharat, the main wedding event. The Khan family pulled out all the stops, a luxury hotel ballroom, crystal chandeliers, a red carpet entrance, professional photographers, and a guest list filled with business magnates, ministers, and celebrities. Amara arrived with her family, dressed in a gorgeous but simple bridal lehenga her mother managed to save up for over many years. She looked radiant, glowing, nervous, hopeful. But the moment they arrived, the whispers began again. "Look, her family doesn't even have matching outfits. She really came like this? Did she buy that jewelry from the local market? Her family looks lower middle class. Adil could have done so much better." Amara felt each comment like a slap, but she kept her gaze steady, reminding herself that in a few hours she would be Adil's wife, and then maybe they would accept her. But things only got worse. When her mother approached the groom's family with gifts, small token trays of sweets and fabrics, the Khan aunts exchanged mocking smirks. "This is it," one whispered. "I've seen better at a child's birthday party." Another laughed. "No gold? Not even a watch? How embarrassing." Amara's mother's smile faltered, but she said nothing. She was too kind to respond, too polite to argue. Amara wanted to scream, wanted to grab her mother away from them, but tradition required the bride to remain seated on stage. She gripped the side of her chair until her knuckles went white. Adil noticed. He rushed to her side, kneeling next to her. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I swear, once we're married, I'll make sure they treat you right." She nodded, trying to believe him. But the final blow came unexpectedly. As the wedding photographer instructed both families to gather for a group photo, Adil's mother pulled Amara aside. "Let's take a picture with Adil's family first," she said stiffly. "Then we'll add your side. Your outfits will clash." Amara froze. Did she really just say that? Adil stepped forward angrily, but before he could speak, the photographer called them again. "We'll be quick," Shabana said sharply. "Just cooperate." And in front of the entire hall, the groom's family gathered around Adil, but not Amara. She was left standing awkwardly a few feet away as whispers rippled through the hall. Someone laughed. Someone took a video. Someone muttered, "Poor girl. She really doesn't belong here." Amara's cheeks burned with humiliation. Her eyes blurred with tears she refused to let fall. Her mother looked mortified. Her father quietly squeezed her mother's hand, helpless. And then, just as the photographer lifted the camera, someone shouted from the entrance, "Stop the photo." The hall fell silent. Heads turned. A tall man in a tailored black suit walked in, flanked by two assistants. His presence alone filled the room with tension. His stride was confident, his expression sharp, and his aura powerful enough to make people instinctively move aside. Amara's breath caught. Zion. Her brother. She hadn't expected him. He had told her he probably wouldn't make it due to business commitments. But here he was, dramatic as ever, arriving like a storm. He walked straight toward the stage, his eyes narrowing at the sight of his sister standing alone while the groom's family posed proudly without her. "Is this how you treat my sister?" he asked loudly, his voice echoing across the hall. Shabana stiffened. The cousins froze. The whispers stopped instantly. Zion stepped onto the stage, placed a firm hand on Amara's shoulder, and turned her gently toward him. "You look beautiful," he said softly, kissing her forehead. "And I won't allow anyone, to make you feel otherwise." Adil stepped forward nervously. "Zion, I wasn't talking to you," Zion said coldly. His eyes locked on Shabana. "I asked her." Shabana swallowed. "We were just organizing the photographs. No need to dramatize." "Dramatize?" Zion repeated, raising an eyebrow. "You excluded the bride from her own wedding photo because her family isn't dressed well enough? Are you hearing yourself?" A ripple of shock passed through the guests. No one dared interrupt. Zion turned toward the crowd and spoke loudly enough for everyone to hear. "My sister was raised with respect, integrity, and love. She is marrying into this family today, and I expect her to be treated with the same dignity she gives others. If you cannot offer her that, then this wedding does not need to continue." Gasps erupted across the hall. Adil's face turned pale. No, please," Adil sputtered, grabbing Zion's arm. "I love Amara. I swear I'll protect her. I'll talk to my family." Zion stared at him for a long moment before shaking his head. Talking won't change their character. Then he turned to Amara. "If you want to walk away, I will take you home right now. I'll handle everything." Amara's eyes filled with tears, not of sadness this time, but of overwhelming love for her brother. I don't want to leave," she whispered. "I love him." Zion studied her face, then nodded slowly. "Then I'll make sure you're respected. Starting now." He turned back to the stunned groom's family. "Before this wedding proceeds, I need a moment with all of you." He stepped off the stage, motioning them to follow. They hesitated, but the intensity of his gaze left no room for refusal. They gathered in a corner of the hall. No one could hear what he said, but faces changed color, first confusion, then shock, then fear. When they finally returned, Shabana's entire demeanor had transformed. She walked up to Amara and spoke in a trembling voice. "Beta, we were wrong. All of us. Please forgive us. You deserve better." Amara blinked in disbelief. The same woman who mocked her outfit last night was now nearly bowing at her feet. The cousins followed suit, apologizing hurriedly. The aunts offered embarrassed smiles. The uncles cleared their throats awkwardly. Even Adil's siblings avoided her eyes, too ashamed to speak. Adil hugged Amara tightly. "I'm so sorry," he whispered. "They'll never disrespect you again." The ceremony resumed, but this time, The